So just wanted to put another story here before I get into the main conversation, the main video. But this came to me after I made this recording. Another experience that I thought was just interesting, well, worthwhile mentioning, was that on obviously the similar theme of this talk, I'm used to making mainly p-hole videos, and I still make it from time to time. And I'm not good with other people's material, like copyrighted material, I must say. I don't know. I'm not making money off it, okay? And I use other people's material because sometimes I have nothing else to use, but sometimes I think that's very good, like whether it's video or audio or something like that, or pictures or whatnot. And I get them off the internet. And if it's copyrighted, I try not to use it, or I won't use it. But sometimes you just don't know when something's copyrighted when it's not. And what happened was I had a Manly P haul video, and I don't know how many views it had on it. It wasn't monetized at all, but it had one picture that was that I took from the internet. I mean, this was years ago. I took from the internet and I put it in the video, and I only showed it for about 2 minutes. And the owner of the picture came across it, and basically what did he do? He took the video down, and I got a strike. And I emailed the guy and I said, look, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your image. It was just of Google Images. I don't even remember when it was. I'm not making any money off the video. At least I won't put the video up, but just remove the strike, because 3 strikes and I'm out, and you never know what you can get strikes for. So I pleaded with the guy, and I stated my claim. I said, look, it's for spiritual purposes. Your picture was spiritual. It was conscious, material, whatever it was. I'm not making any money off it. There's no loss here to you. I mean, there's really no loss. What's the difference? I mean, if anything, it's complementing your energy. You've taken the time, you've been creative, you captured something beautiful, and now I'm sharing it with other people, right? Why does it have to be, resulting only in money? And I said to the guy, and he said, well, look, if you want to buy the license, it's like, I think you want to charge me $400 or something like that, and he'll take away the strike, and I can use the picture. And I thought, it was ridiculous, folks. It was obviously too extreme. It was madness. And so I said, you're crazy, I mean, he was holding my in a way, my channel ransom to a certain degree, saying, look, pay me and I'll remove the strike. And then, not that I had any other strikes. But like I tried it to the guy, and he said, look, and then basically, I mean, it was just 1 or 2 emails back and forth. I wasn't going too extreme and pleading with the guy. But he said to me, this is your punishment, that you have to wait it out for 3 months until that strike expires. And I was like, that's what he says, and hopefully you'll learn a lesson of using other people's material. He says, I wouldn't use your material and make money off it. If you put, I'm not making any money off it. And for myself, if anybody wants to use anything of mine, go ahead, 100%. Whatever you like, whatever catches your fancy, don't even ask my permission. I don't care. I've seen plenty of people use my Terence McKenna videos, re-upload them, not give me credit for it, retitle them exactly. And for me, I couldn't be bothered, as long as the word is getting out there. But again, which I get more into in this talk, when you're working with machine mind, right, it's like there's very little understanding of just heart, I would say, of just heart, and seeing where other people are coming from, and always playing by the law and the rules of things, and how boring that makes us, and how machine-like that makes us. Anyways, folks, we'll follow on with the talk now. Alright, folks, so I want to share a story that has been bothering me and I can't seem to let this situation go. I'm trying to see why can I not let it go. In short, basically, I was helping a friend of mine to set up a massage shop for herself, or massage business or something like that. And she asked me to advertise in something called Mum's Mail. It's a local magazine here, and it's a A4 or A5, small little pamphlet, whatever, pamphlet size book whatever it is, and articles and all advertising. She asked me to advertise it in there for her, and so I said I'll help her out and with the graphics and the picture and things like that. And so I did, and I approached Mum's Mail, and they said, well, look, you got to sign basically a 3-month contract. So that means that every month you have to advertise with us. It's a monthly magazine, so for 3 months you have to advertise with us. So I thought, okay, and I told my friend about it, and she said cool. And so I went ahead and did all the paperwork and whatever it was. I didn't really sign the contract, but I just kind of agreed to the 3 months of advertising. And it wasn't expensive advertising, but it was something considerable. Anyway, so we ran the first month's advert, and we got no reply. Okay, and I know because we mentioned a certain discount code within the advert, so we knew that it would be particularly from Mum's Mail. And so what happened was that the first month ran and nothing happened. I mean, we got no call. She got no phone calls, nothing whatsoever, no reaction from the advert. So I said to Mum's Mail, look, I'm taking another month now, but so far it's not very good. And they were like, no, don't worry about it. It takes time. We've had people that have advertised with us for 6 months, and only on the 5th month, whatever it is, that they get phone calls. And so you've got to run in the second month. It's it will be definitely worth your while, so I think, okay, we'll go for another month. Ran another month, changed the advert, even dropped the prices of the massage, and still got nothing, no phone calls whatsoever. So the 3rd month comes along, and I say to the people, look, I mean, this is now, 2 months later, we've got not one phone call. Like, obviously it's just not working, so we don't think we can run a 3rd advert. So if you don't run a 3rd advert for us, then we're going to have to charge you a surcharge, basically, a cancellation fee. And it's like, but come on, I mean, the advert's not working. Okay, and we're spending big bucks on something that doesn't seem to be working. So, like, why should we have to spend that money? And obviously I didn't read the contract. I didn't think it was such a serious thing. I mean, we're talking about an advert the size of maybe take an ID photo, times that by 4. I'd give it in centimeters. Maybe it was actually 5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Something very small. In Mum's Mail, this kind of, one of these free magazines that you pick up at the supermarket when you're walking out or something like that. So what's the big deal? Anyway, so they said, well, if you don't run it, you're going to have to pay cancellation fee. Okay, what's the cancellation fee? It was a small amount. I mean, it was equivalent of just over 200 Rand here in South Africa. That would be in dollars, not very much at all. Maybe less than $20, $15 or so, not even. Yeah, it doesn't matter, $15. And so, like, I thought to myself, oh, whatever it is, and just left it. Please do me a favor now, people, do me a favor. It's like such small money. Really, you haven't helped us out here. We've already paid you for the other 2 adverts. Come on, it doesn't make sense. And not only that, but it's not good for the business. She's just starting off business, and she's putting in the capital for it, and she can't afford it. She's not getting the business. So understand. And this was my feeling. But then I got a phone call, and I'm like, they're saying, look, this amount is still outstanding. When are you going to pay it? And I said, I'm not going to pay it. Which is obviously sort of the wrong move. I said, how can you guys ask me for that money? Like, seriously, right? I mean, your magazine, which you profess says a reach of 30,000 people, guaranteed business, whatever. Like, do me a favor, just leave us alone now, whatever it is. And so they were phoning and said, yo, look, we do understand, but that's not how we work, and if this is what you owe, and it's a contract, and you've signed it, and we have proof, and we have your details. And I'm like, oh, do me a favor, I've been threatened by worse, much worse. So I leave it. And a month later, I get another call from this woman. Well, sir, you're still outstanding. I'm like, oh my heavens, that this call's costing you more than the price that you're asking me to pay. Like, really now? I mean, the paperwork involved, whatever, the time and effort. It's like, it's not worth it. Let it go. No, sir, we can't let it go. You signed a contract, and we're sorry if you didn't get the business in, but this is how we work, and this is how we operate, and and I'm like, oh, okay. I'll pay it. So I don't pay it. And a month later, they're emailing me and they're still phoning me. I'm like, oh my goodness me. It's just like absolutely pathetic, people. And so eventually they send me an email that they're going to hand me over to the credit bureau, which is like to basically blacklist me. Which means not that I need credit, not that I ever try and apply for credit, but like I can't get a telephone account. I can't sometimes, for if I want to rent a place or a shop, they do a credit check on you and you just got bad credit basically. And they were threatening to take me to the credit bureau, right, over this money. Basically, if I hadn't paid within like 24 hours or 48 hours. And it was got me so livid. I was just so frustrated. It's like, so I have an attorney, a lawyer who's a friend of mine somewhat. He was helping me out with something else, or selling of a house. And so I was speaking to him anyways, and he said, listen man, just pay them the money. I said to him, but it's the principle here, my man. He's like, principle, put your pride aside and just pay it, and that's that. And I was like, but it's so unfair. He says, these people will take you to the credit. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about, this attorney, this lawyer. He says they will take you to it. I mean, he was telling me a story where he fought his way because he was a lawyer, and his father bought I think it was a wheelchair or something, and he found it at a price for somewhere else the same wheelchair for much lesser price, and so he had to write his lawyer's letter to the company to give his father the money back because they found it at a cheaper price, and eventually they did, according to the Consumer Act and whatever it was. Okay, maybe that's something different, but that's besides the point. Maybe it is something different. Fair enough. But he was just saying it's the principle. I was saying it's the principle of the matter. These people are bullying, and they're threatening, and whatever it is. I said, how can I just give in to it? I know it's not big money at all. It's not a problem, but it's not the money. It's not the money for me. It's just how insensitive they can be, like how unsympathetic they can be. Not even apologizing, like, oh shit, we're sorry that our advertising didn't work out for you, whatever it is. It's like, better luck next time, and nothing, no compensation, not even a compensation. Not that I'm looking for a compensation, just leave me alone. Anyway, so like I was really livid about it, and I thought to myself, whether or not to fight it. And the lawyer said, don't fight it, because they're already going for you, they're already gunning for you, and they're not going to stop. And this is just how they work, and then whatever it is. So I wrote back to them. I just said to them, like, I want proof that I signed I just kind of delayed it, the contract, which I didn't really sign. And I'm working with my attorney, and we're discussing the matter or something like that. And if not, I'm going to take the issue to social media. So I get a reply, something like that. Well, if you're threatening us now to take us to social media, we have to take your threat seriously, and we will take matters into our own hands. And now all of a sudden it's like blowing up. It's like, now they got all my information, they got my ID number, they got everything, and I'm like, oh my goodness me. Anyway, so I land up, I just pay them the money, and I pay them like R3 short on purpose, right? Just so they can come back and ask me for their R3. It's just my little, screw you type of thing, or whatever it was, just a little bit. I mean, not that I would have even taken to social media, not that I would have even pushed it any further, but just it was like almost like for myself, trying to, I don't know, stick up for myself somewhat, or just something or other. I don't know why, folks. I've been so triggered by this. Seriously, it's not a big issue. It's not about the issue. It's a triggering. It's bringing up something from my past. I'm sure of it. Not just even from my past, but maybe just because, folks, even just this year, I can tell you how I've been, people have taken advantage, stolen from me, tried to hoodwink me, tried to manipulate me, or gotten away with it, many things. And I've just let so much of it go, so much more money have I not even fought for, or, because I knew that I couldn't win, or that it wasn't worth fighting. And I've had people send me this. I mean, this one woman, she sent me this parcel. I bought this dish. It was for wheatgrass, growing wheatgrass. And she sends me the dish that you grow the wheatgrass in. I paid for it. And she mails it to me, and she wraps it in a bed sheet. So by the time I opened the box, it was all broken and smashed. So I was like, oh, geez. I mean, and now she's going to cover it. She's going to, cover the cost of this broken dish. I mean, this is the main thing. complicated to explain. It's like crockery or something like that. I don't know, pottery type of thing. And it's like, man, how do you ship something and wrap it in a bed sheet? Okay. And I mean, I bought seeds from her as well. The seeds packets were old. I mean, they expired, so I couldn't grow them. And I sent her messages and be like, look, the dish is broken and the seeds don't sprout. And she's saying, oh, well, I don't know how they managed to handle it with the post office, whatever it is. So then she said, I'll give you the money back. But then she said, no, I'll send you a book. And I'm sure a book for herself that she just wasn't interested in keeping anymore on wheatgrass. So I said, okay, fine, because I let it go. No big deal. But the seeds herself that she sent me had already expired. She said to me, they're 18 months old, but I sprout them all the time. I tried my darndest, they don't sprout. And to go buy new. But I let it go. I'm not fussed about that. But this in particular, this thing with this mum's mail in particular, has really got under my skin. I can't figure out why. And you know what? I still can't figure out why necessarily, but it's also because they knew, Mum's mail knew that myself and my friend made a loss already, and they didn't care. We were using their services, and their services didn't come through for us. You know, I mean, sure, it's they can't guarantee us customers. I know that. I'm not saying that they are liable because we didn't get any customers. I'm not saying that. But have a heart. See the situation. Read it correctly. And that's what frustrates me about it. Some women sending me a broken pot, or, whatever it is, and then trying to get out of it. Okay, fine. I don't know. That doesn't really get to me as much as this mum's mail. I don't necessarily know why. So I suppose I'm bringing this to the viewers, you, my friends and family out there. What do you hear coming from me about this? What do you think in yourself would trigger you in particular about this mum's mail situation? And why? Is it the bullying that's going on? I think so, because I'm saying there was 3 or 4 people that from Mum's Mail, they were all CC'd in the emails that were coming to me and whatever it was, and I just felt like I was being bullied, and I think maybe it's being bullied, right? And it's being out for what they want. They're out for their blood, and we don't care if we've taken blood already from you, in a way, something like that. I think it comes from my childhood, from my brother, and whatever it is. But one of the things is that I realized that, you see, I have such mixed feelings. On the one hand, and I know this sounds so ridiculous, there's bigger fish to fry, there's bigger things going on in the world, folks, no question about it. Sometimes it's just the small things that mean so much in the positive and the negative, in a sense, or in the beautiful and the ugly, small things, folks. So nonetheless, coming back, one of the things is that I felt like I needed to say something on my own behalf, try and stand up for myself, try and bully them back or something like that. And now that I think about it, I have such mixed feelings, because on the one hand I wanted to stand up and sort of roar a little bit, even though I had no roaring power. I wanted to. Sometimes I thought if I had all the money in the world, I would just get a lawyer to get involved in the case. Although I couldn't win the case at all, I'm completely in the wrong, because I signed the contract. So, I didn't know that this was going to happen. So there would be no way. In other words, I was also, so that's another thing, I was sort of tied into it. It almost reminds me when I was at school. And I was tied into school, and you had to go to school. You've sold your soul to us in a way. And that's what it is, and we're not giving it back. Even when you try and take it back, we will try and claw it back, from you, type of thing. Signing into contracts. I can't stand contracts, folks. Can't stand leases. I mean, I honor them, but I can't stand them, because you're putting your power in somebody else's hands. And with leases, when if you do get out of a lease and you try and tell the guy, look, I'm broke, I need to move or something, other things. I got divorced and we don't need to rent this house anymore. It reminds me of my wife, or even my partner passed away. Please let me. And they're like, no, you own to me. I think that's also maybe what it is. It's like, I own you. I've got you now. And if you try and leave, I'll take away your deposit. And I'll get you into shit with the Consumer Act or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, we own you. And so for myself, it's like, I just don't like that, eh? And the truth is, I don't have a boss. I don't know how I would handle that. I mean, my boss is the beloved, is the Most High, you know. But if I had a human boss in a way, I don't know how I would manage. And if I've had bosses before. Geez, I've been, wow, because I was more of a softie back then, and I was taken advantage of in such a big way, overworked and underpaid. Anyways, I'm getting a sore throat here. It's been coming on for the day, but I don't know what it's about. Anyway, so I don't know. So I think there's a number of factors going on here. But my point being is that I have mixed feelings, because on the one hand I wanted to stand up for myself. On the other hand, I feel a little bit shamed. Like that I became a little bit of a monster in a way. Or did I? You know, I like sort of played them at their own level. I stooped down to their level in a sense. You see, because I know that even if I wrote to them and said, you know, people, mums, Mel, this is not fair. This is just not fair. I know they would have said, it's completely fair, son. You signed a contract, and that's what you signed, and that's what you owe. You owe what you owe. Now cough it up. Even if it's your last cent, it's what you owe. You know, you're working with machine mind, that type of thing. That's what you're working with, and so it's just, I knew that I wouldn't get anywhere, basically. I wouldn't win. That's also frustrating, you know, when you're trying to bring awareness, like, above bureaucracy, above the law, you know, above sort of the rules sometimes. And you say, look, can't we just give each other the benefit of the doubt here? Can't we just understand each other as human beings beyond the rules of the game, in a sense? I mean, the rules are necessary. Anyway, so for myself, I've mixed feelings, because on the one hand, yes, I was cheeky back, but I felt like I stooped down to their level. Should I have just paid them the money and left well enough alone? Perhaps, and walked away. But then a part of me would have felt like, you can't do that, man. You just can't do that. You just got to try and fight a little bit for what it's worth. I don't know, folks. I'm still working on this. I'm sure there's a lot more that'll come of this, but I wanted to share it and see if some of you have had similar experiences, or something that you can pick up in from what I'm sharing and saying, and that you could shed some light on. That'd be much appreciated. Alright, folks, take care. Be well.